Hey warriors, let me ask you something powerful. How much of your life is truly under your control? Not the external noise, not the chaos of society, not the endless stream of events crashing into you like waves on the shore, but you, your mind, your choices. This question isn't a mere thought experiment. It is the beating heart of Stoicism, a philosophy born not in comfortable classrooms, but in the fire of war, politics, and human struggle. Imagine Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, seated in his war tent, surrounded by uncertainty, betrayal, and the screams of battle. Instead of collapsing under the pressure of ruling the most powerful empire on earth, he turned inward and wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That line wasn't theory, it was survival. And that is where our journey begins today. Too often, we live as prisoners of events we cannot control. You lose your job, and despair eats you alive. Someone insults you, and rage burns in your chest. Plans fail, and you sink into self-doubt. But the Stoics flip the script. Suffering itself is not the enemy. The real enemy is your reaction to suffering. Seneca, a man who lived through exile, political assassination plots, and the constant threat of death, wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. How many nights have you wasted replaying an event, magnifying it in your mind until it became unbearable? How many times have you tortured yourself with what-ifs about futures that never even arrived? That is the prison of the untrained mind. The Stoics demand something different: clarity, courage, and ownership of the present moment. Take the recent pandemic as an example. Some collapsed into fear, glued to the news, drowning in anxiety. Others used the chaos as a crucible, learning new skills, strengthening their discipline, nay, reconnecting with family and reminding themselves of what truly matters. That is Stoicism alive today. When chaos strikes, the true question is not, why me, but how will I respond? And here lies the first actionable lesson. Focus only on what lies within your control. Epictetus, born a slave, crippled in body, yet free in spirit, declared that freedom does not come from external liberty, but from mastery of your own mind. You cannot control the stock market, the weather, or other people's judgments, but you can control your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Warriors, this is your first weapon: radical ownership of the inner world. The battlefield of life is full of storms, but the Stoics remind us that the calmest place must be within your own soul. Now, warriors, let's sharpen the second weapon: discipline. Marcus Aurelius, despite ruling the most powerful empire in history, lived with humility. He rose before dawn not to indulge in luxury, but to write, reflect, and discipline his soul. In his meditations, he reminded himself, "At dawn, when you awake unwillingly, have this thought: I am rising to do the work of a human being." This is the Stoic call to arms against laziness, procrastination, and self-indulgence. Ask yourself honestly, how many times have you let comfort rob you of your potential? How many hours have been swallowed by screens, distractions, and mindless pleasures? Modern life is a carnival of temptations: streaming shows, social media, junk food, instant gratification. But the Stoics warned us that comfort breeds weakness, while discomfort forges strength. Seneca, though one of the wealthiest men in Rome, practiced poverty deliberately. He slept on the floor, wore rough clothing, and ate simple meals, not because he had to, but because he wanted to train his spirit. He asked himself, "Is this what I feared?" By rehearsing hardship, he was never enslaved by it, and this is where we too can begin. Take small steps of voluntary discomfort. Wake up earlier. Skip a meal and learn that hunger cannot control you. Take a cold shower. Leave your phone behind and walk in silence. These are not punishments, they are training grounds. Warriors don't sharpen their blades in moments of peace. They sharpen them so that when the battle comes, they are ready. But here's a deeper truth. Stoicism isn't about mere endurance. It is about purpose. Discipline without direction is just another form of bondage. Epictetus commanded, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In other words, warriors, define your mission before you march. Who do you want to become? What values do you stand for? What impact will you leave behind? Without this clarity, discipline becomes hollow repetition. But with purpose, every sacrifice, every act of self-denial becomes fuel for your higher calling. Think of the athlete. Hours of sweat, strict diets, endless repetition. The training is not glamorous, it is relentless. But when the competition arrives, the prepared body and mind are unstoppable. Life is no different. Your trials are coming. Betrayals, failures, illnesses, losses. And the question is simple. Will you be prepared, or will you crumble? That's why Marcus Aurelius warned, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Warriors, don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for motivation to knock at your door. Discipline is not born from comfort, it is born from choice. And your choice begins now. Finally, warriors, let's forge the third and most powerful weapon, resilience. Life will test you more brutally than any enemy ever could. Dreams will shatter, loved ones will leave, health will decline. And sometimes, it will feel as if the universe itself is conspiring against you. But the Stoics taught us that the obstacle is not the end of the path. It is the path. Marcus Aurelius faced plagues, wars, political betrayals, and the unbearable weight of leadership. And yet, he wrote not with bitterness, but with strength. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This reminder of mortality, memento mori, wasn't meant to paralyze him with fear. It was meant to sharpen his appreciation for every fleeting moment. To remind him that life, fragile as it is, must be lived with urgency and gratitude. Resilience is not pretending life is easy. It's learning to rise when life breaks you. Think of a storm battering the sea. A weak ship shatters, but a strong vessel adjusts its sails. The Stoic warrior is that vessel. The storms of life will come, but you will bend without breaking. And this mindset is not just ancient philosophy, it is desperately needed today. We live in an age of victimhood, where complaints are celebrated and excuses multiplied. But Stoicism calls us to reject this weakness. When hardship comes, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What is this teaching me?" This is the Stoic art of reframing obstacles into opportunities. Seneca declared, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests brave men." Warriors, every trial you face is a forge. The broken relationship that taught you independence, the failure that forced you to reinvent yourself, the illness that deepened your gratitude for life, these are not punishments, they are teachers. The Stoics even had a phrase, amor fati, love of fate. Don't just accept the storms, embrace them. Lo vithem, because they are uniquely yours. And so I leave you with this truth. Life is short, unpredictable, and fragile. But you have a choice, to live as a victim of circumstances or as a master of your mind. The Stoics chose mastery, and so can you. Warriors, when fear knocks, answer with courage. When comfort whispers, stand firm in discipline. When tragedy strikes, rise in resilience. Your time is now. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. So live. Live as a warrior. Live as a Stoic. And may your mind remain unshakable amidst the chaos of the world.